This is horrible to watch.
Shawn Mendes video, totally doable for 20K. Absolutely. Absolutely.
Hey, just so you know, Moses, you're at $1,850 already. Yo, what's going on, guys? Ted here, and today we are talking about how to produce, prep, and plan any music video regardless of what your budget is. This episode is sponsored by Airtable, but again, this workflow and these tips are going to work no matter what software you're using. To kick things off, we're meeting with my friend Moses Israel, who's an amazing producer that has produced videos from everyone from Pharrell to Diplo to Jaden Smith. He's also familiar with what it takes to produce a project on like a $0 budget and your mom's pickup van.
Hey DP, do you want to DP a Shawn Mendes video? I'm going to give you $400.
Oh my gosh, oh no. Here we've got 3 music videos, and we're gonna pretend as if a director is coming to us with this as the treatment. And this is the video that they wanna make. They refuse to cut anything in the actual music video, so you gotta make it happen on the budget. Is it possible, and can we actually do this?
It's very realistic hearing that, because that sounds about right. Like, this is the budget we have, this is the vision. My job is put it together and being realistic. Like, realistically, this is what we have, this is what you want, let's find the middle ground.
Neither Moses nor I have seen them. We're gonna watch them, identify what are the major production expenses and what are the logistics. Moses is actually gonna walk through exactly how he would produce, prep, and budget each of these videos. And to really see it in action, I'm gonna ask Moses to do this live so you can actually watch him do it in real time and see the thought process. Put your producing hats on, because today we're gonna go through how to do 3 different music videos at 3 different low budget prep projects. Ultra low budget, $500 music video. Number 2, we're doing a $3,000 music video. So someone's coming out, they've got some actual budget, they wanna make something happen. And for our last and final music video, we're talking $10,000 to $20,000. This is kind of our high, low end. Let's do this. So this right here is Tessa Violet Crush. Have you seen this video before?
I have not.
I have not seen this video before either. Let's go.
This is the low budget one, right?
Mm-hmm.
Couple of cast members here, probably friends of the artist. Okay. I mean, so far, super low budget. It's one artist.
In one location.
One location. It also looks like it's almost all naturally lit from the fluorescence above.
Little punch on her face, just a little bit of soft light, but not much.
Some of them, you can tell they might have went handheld, but it's a little...
This could be a Ronin too.
And like videos like this, you call in a favor.
Yeah.
Like you're somebody in the family or somebody that you have a good connection with that owns a chain of grocery stores.
Yeah. That
you can just say, hey, let us have access to the store for like 3 or 4 hours. Okay.
All right, Moses. So for this video, do you think we can do it for less than $500, or is it way over that?
Totally can do it under 500.
Damn.
Calling in favors for posts, your editing, your DP, you're probably getting all the camera gear from like a buddy that owns all this stuff, because it didn't look like crazy lighting setups. Like it's probably somebody that owns their own gear, probably like a crew of less than 5 or 6 people. I think this is one day, like less than 6 hours. We don't have to pay $5 grand for a location. We don't need insurance. We don't need to pull a permit. Yeah. All of these fees are already gonna be over like a little under 10K if you're doing it the big budget route. So grocery store can accommodate for a lot of logistics, restrooms taken care of, parking taken care of.
It's the perfect filming location.
Boom. For staging, there's all these aisles and stuff that camera department can have a camera cart build their stuff. We're looking at about a 5 to 6 person crew that is all doing this for a favor. So we want to find friends of the artist, friends of the director, friends of the DP. You're bringing people you know that can come and like donate a half a day for free, all for the love of this artist. I'm thinking your DP, him or her is probably camera operating. The focus looked pretty good the whole way through, so you probably have a first AC. You obviously have your director who's probably gonna double as a DIT. You probably have one art director with an extra set of hands. So far we're at 5. And you have me, that's 6. Makeup and wardrobe. You have
maybe one person for that.
Maybe one person, someone on G&E, and then maybe like a PA. So at the most, you're looking at 9 people. Your camera team, they own a camera. Maybe one of your gaffers has like 3 or 4 aperture lighting kits that they can bring out that can stay at, a couple of C-stands. And so it's very, this is as indie as it gets for sure. What you're gonna spend money on is crafty, catering, hard drives, a camera rental, or anything in post, where I can see that being a little tricky to get for free, where maybe you have a really great editor, but they want $200. If they're coming out for free or for a very low rate, you're feeding them through their stomach. Catering, $100. Crafty, $100.
Total here, we're looking at somewhere between $300 to $350 for your catering, your crafty, plus your hard drives.
Plus your hard drives.
And then the remaining $200 you put towards either kind of a camera rental or something like that, or your editor. So it's like
yeah.
one place that you want to splurge a little bit. So.
Or you can take that 200 and say, okay, we have everything paid for. Let's get some nicer glass. Let's get some better lenses.
What are your next steps in terms of immediately after this?
Let's go location scout this with the key department head. So you're probably looking at the DP, the director, art department. I can see like an art director being there, so they can see like what logos or things they're gonna have to turn or be aware of or be conscious of. So while we're location scouting, my team and I, we're looking for these logistical things. Where are the restrooms? Where are people gonna park? A little green room. If there's a makeup area that we're gonna stage, crafty and catering, let's have a space set up for that. If you overlook this stuff on the day of the shoot, you're gonna have people asking you 1,000 questions. Where's the restroom? Where is this? Where? And that's, if you didn't think of any of this stuff, you're kind of screwed. So it really comes down to, after the location scout, you really understand what is absolutely needed, what is a luxury, what can we get rid of. Right after the scout, we're putting together a concrete budget. And then from there, locking in all of your crew.
And then you're pulling together a schedule.
For a project like this, it's probably me doing the schedule, so that way, if we're dealing with location, they want to see what time are we rolling in.
Alrighty, so on this kind of shoot, do you think that we actually need makeup and wardrobe on set?
Absolutely. On a shoot like this, they had a makeup artist because she doesn't look reflective at all. And then wardrobe, just in between takes, somebody tidying up to make sure she looks clean. So yeah.
Next up, we're talking $3,000 for our budget. This one is called Wallows These Days. Have you seen this music video before?
I have not seen this.
Good, here we go. Let's do this. $3,000, it's on. Oh,
nice.
Very Wes Anderson. Oh, uh-oh, you see that? Uh-oh.
They have a good lift there. This looks like it was shot on location as well.
Yeah. Oh, is that a celebrity?
He looks like one of the Jonas Brothers. Goldfish.
We got a fish. So we got an animal in here.
Animal. Weapon.
Whoa.
Oh, we got stunts.
Oh, stunts.
So you probably have crash pads for that. They're falling. Oh, makeup.
Oh, makeup. You got blood. This is pretty hard. We're clearly an actor.
And you probably audition these people. So that's part of pre-production. This is good. This is juicy. All right.
$3,000, Moses.
I can budget this out and we can see it's probably landing between closer to 5K.
Okay.
This is for sure doable for 5K, I think. Even though there's like special effects makeup, there's a stunt, it's very minimal. Logistics wise, one house. Restrooms, you probably have restrooms in the home. There's probably residential parking. Crew size, you're probably like 20 to 30 people for sure. There's stunts, there's a part where they all fall off of the lift. Specialty makeup, casting, wardrobe. There's even a goldfish in there, so there's an animal in there.
There are harder animals in the animal kingdom.
This is a drive to PetSmart. Oh, the biggest thing is the lift. Once again, it's a bright, shiny orange. We want to hunt that down as soon as possible. Priority-wise, if I were to see this video, is location, getting us that lift, and starting the casting process immediately. They didn't cut any corners on the visual, so you're probably, budget-wise, on these 30 people, it's like you have a solid camera team. It's lit very nicely, so you probably have like a good 5-ton package with like a nice set of like lights in there, for sure. So,
normally when you see exterior day, there's all kinds of harsh shadows, and all kinds of harsh daylight, but here it's very, very soft lighting on everybody.
As much people as there is on the camera team, there's probably that amount of people on the art department team, meaning that you have a production designer, you have an art director, you have a set dresser, and then probably like a props person. The highest paid person is gonna be $400, only because if we're trying to stay between 3,000 to 5,000, we're gonna say it's 4,000. 10% should be what your DP is getting paid. 10% is what our art is going to be paid. I start with production and trickle my way down. So let's say your first AD, $200. Now I want to pay my key PA something healthy, so I'll also pay him $200. 2 production assistants. Let's say if this is Indy route, we're going to get 2 guys at $150 apiece. We're already at $700. So.
Here we go.
And let's say our DP, let's pay him or her a low rate of $400, but they're going to need a camera team. So first AC base of $200, but then the person below them is going to be at $150.
And just so you know, Moses, you're at $1,850 already, and we're only halfway through the camera department.
This is Gaffer and Key. We're going to put them at $200. Let's give them some swings. So let's say that each swing is coming out for $150. Our art director, production designer, we're going to pay that person the same rate as our DP. Well, for makeup, I would say it's going to be hard to give them $400. So let's say $200, and then they're also like a hair person, and they kind of also have an eye for wardrobe. So I would get someone that can like do makeup and hair, and then once the talent gets in their wardrobe, in between takes, they're like lint rolling, doing little adjustments, things that like the same department can do. So we're at 3,500 just for the crew.
What do you think this video was actually shot for?
I would put this at the 20 to 25K range. I would say we could pull this off for like comfortably for like 17 to 20K.
Well, that is a lot of money. So let's go back to 3 to 5K and keep talking about that.
All right. So let's say the director's going to edit this thing for free.
Cool.
So I would say 2 hard drives that are like 2 to 3 terabytes. You're looking at 140 a pop. Some prop rentals and prop purchases, meaning that inside of her bedroom, there's all kinds of set dressing going on. For the main band that's on that lift, they have guitars, they have a whole setup. We have the actual lift. And then if you remember, the paramedic guy brings a gurney. All of that is a rental. The set deck was like papers and posters.
Yeah.
Set that at like $200. Let's say we go on ShareGrid, we get a camera and lenses package for $400. This is like an Alexa Mini with some like CP2s or CP3s. And the camera package has like everything you need. Cards, card reader, it's got a monitor, it's got all of this stuff.
Damn, ShareGrid! $400?
When it comes to the grip truck, grip and lighting, we're also going to ShareGrid. Like 3-ton, 4-ton package for like $500. And let's say that grip truck has some sky panels in it or some kind of... So we're getting there, we're getting there. Production vehicles, we're gonna need to rent a Sprinter van, $50.
And that's just production vehicle. $50 for Sprinter van?
Sprinter van. So production supplies, this is tables, chairs, coolers, director chairs.
$300.
I'm putting in $100 for 2 actors. It's the main girl and then the dancing dude at the end.
So how are we gonna cut this down to 5K?
Location. We're gonna need to find a free location. Little known fact, in Los Angeles, if you shoot in the city of San Fernando, it's the only city in the Los Angeles County where you don't need a film permit if you're on private property. I would say we have to find a house in San Fernando. I'm gonna look at my DP and I'm gonna say, you're gonna have to operate. So I'm gonna zero out our camera operator budget. I'm gonna tell art department, we're cutting your art PAs. We're gonna leave crafty and catering the same because we wanna feed them properly. Let's scale down our grip truck to like a 3-ton package. So that shaves off a couple $100.
$300 for a 3-ton package.
ShareGrid, check out ShareGrid.
That is amazing.
I'm gonna ask our key department heads to take a smaller rate. DP's down to 300, our director's down to 300. Now we're at 5,500. This crew's gonna hate us. We're gonna have to feed them good. After lunch, we'll make to-go plates, so that way when we wrap, they also get plates. This is what I mean, like, let's treat our crew good because we're paying them such a low rate. First AC, let's give them the legal Los Angeles rate, $185.50.
That's kind of a random number. Why are we landing at $185.50?
$185.50 is in the state of California. In the year of 2019, that is what minimum wage translates to for a 12-hour shoot.
But it could vary depending on what state you're in.
Yes.
It varies what year you're in if minimum wage goes up and down and all that. This is horrible to watch.
It's horrible to watch. But
this is terrible. Oh gosh, it's happening. Yeah.
These are conversations that...
These are conversations you have to make this video happen.
Oh yeah. Let's get some cheaper hard drives. We're gonna go like... I don't want... if I say... Let's just say...
Cheap hard drive brands out there. We're buying you.
We're buying
Okay.
you. Let's say $80 for 2 terabytes.
Woo!
Let's see if the band can bring their own instruments. The gurney and the lift, there's really no way around that. So let's bring that down like $200.
You're at $5,000.
I would say before I cut all this, I would go to the label, to the artist and say, can we have more money? I already know the answer to your question. I just want to ask. As the producer, letting them see, being transparent about everything, like, this is bare bones. Like, we're
trying really hard to cut costs here.
If there's directors, assistant directors, more often than not, cinematographers who are represented by an agency. They have an agent. So that means that I'm not dealing with the DP. I'm dealing with the agent when it comes to negotiating their deal memo, their rate, all of that. So I can't touch the DP rate because the agent is very firm in saying this is the minimum they're going to come out for.
And we're talking how much money in this case?
We're talking like upwards of like $1,200, $1,500
per day.
Per day.
Wow.
If the director or the label was very firm on like, we have to use this DP, then I know specifically I can't touch that number. As I'm doing this and squeezing numbers, being conscious of there's certain line items we cannot touch.
Now, before we do our next setup, I want to give a huge shout out to our sponsor, Airtable, which is a fantastic production tool for organizing shoots and planning pre-production logistics. If you're writing treatments or tracking locations to managing your crew and cast, it's honestly just a good tool for creators, period. At the end of the day, again, these tips are going to work for any types of software, but if you're wondering what the software is, here it is. Now let's do number 3. Here we go. Moving on to a $10,000 budget. Shawn Mendes, If I Can't Have You.
I have not seen this.
I have not seen this video. I know the song though. You ready?
Let's see it.
I don't know. Right now, this seems pretty reasonable. Let's just hope it's this one shot for the entire video.
On a 5D with an L
It's this
series.
one shot, right? Oh, no. Things are changing.
Oh, we're getting
Oh, no. Uh-oh, you got a wet down on the floor here.
couch, we got a backdrop. We didn't see any dolly tracks.
Technocrane?
Yeah, Techno Crane. Yeah, you're right.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, we're getting 360 rolls. Whoa.
Oh, no.
We have an actress in there. Look at that lighting setup.
Oh, no.
There's a lot of like 8mm footage, kind of a filter going on. That's kind of cool. We're going to need to do a lot of pre-production so that way we can pull it off in one day.
Oh, no, you got a choir.
Oh, my
No,
God.
there's a choir of people in this. Oh, he's on a treadmill.
Ah!
Tell me real quick, what is a Technocrane for the audience?
It's a big crane that you can put a camera on, and what separates a crane from a techno crane is the telescoping movement. Like you can push in and pull back. You have that with the capabilities of a crane, meaning that you get these nice swooping 30-foot long shots, and that alone is like, okay, that's a techno crane.
Okay.
Yeah.
Let me ask real quick, how much do you think it costs to make that video?
I think this video probably cost like $60,000 to $70,000 because they probably shot it in multiple days.
Let's jump into this budget. So what is the key to getting this shoot?
Getting more money. You got to have those conversations with the client, the artist, the label. So I would say sponsorship is the first thing. One of the biggest set pieces is a grand piano. There's a white Steinway grand piano. So I would basically reach out to Steinway and let them know that we're looking for a donation and we also need a piano, and it's for Shawn Mendes. They know Shawn Mendes can reach 1 million audience members with the release of this video, where they can't really even do that with regular advertising. So at the end of the day, they can probably give us a piano and like $5,000. Do it officially and like show them a 1 page of what Shawn Mendes is and like his whole branding. So,
And you think it's actually possible? You could actually pull another 10K.
absolutely. You ask for an extra 10K
Yeah.
and they give it to you. Now the ball's in your court where you're like, oh shoot, can we pull this off for 20? I'm gonna give everybody the proper rate and then we'll come back and trim if we need to. Starting with production, let's base things at the 4, right? So let's put our department heads at 4 and then the lower tier at like 2. Cinematographer, let's give them a good $750. After the DP, we're booking our operator. One thing about the Techno Crane, those guys are a minimum of $750, and there's no real way around that.
You need 2 of them.
You need someone to operate the head and someone to operate the actual crane. And usually those guys are awesome. They work on like True Detective and like they're legit.
They're legit.
Production designer, I'm gonna give your PD the same rate that we give our cinematographer.
So that's standard. Your cinematographer and your production designer usually match.
Makeup and hair can be one, but it's a Shawn Mendes video, which means we're gonna have to pay his stylist. He probably has a stylist he comes with a lot. So all of crew is taken care of and we're at about an 8K budget. I know for sure it's a Shawn Mendes video. We wanna cover our ass. So we're gonna get some production insurance. We don't want anything falling back on his name. My production company has it, or you know what? If he's with a label, the label has production insurance. Location fees, let's say we're gonna get that soundstage for a 1-day shoot. 3K is pretty average. Meals, I'm gonna do $10 to $11 a head. Craft services, $400. If we have a crafty person that's doing hot crafty drops, like warm food, they're cooking, they're doing stuff, it's gonna make us look like a badass. Let's give them $300, that's with their kid. Let's say we got a really good post house, $1,500. Let's get some good hard drives. So let's say I'm gonna pay $185 per hard drive. Something like a G drive is a more trusted brand. You don't want to explain to the label that you got the cheap. You don't want to explain to the label that you got the cheap drive. We got good hard drives.
Okay, cool.
I would say get 3 just to be safe. Art rentals. So we have a couch, treadmill, instruments, right? So there was like microphones and stuff. Choir was just standing on Apple boxes. Remember, we're getting a piano donated, so we don't have to put the piano in here. Wet down.
So how do you do a wet down?
A lot of the warehouses already have hoses and spouts set up, so that way you can do a wet down. That's as simple as like getting a PA or like a high-ranking crew member to do a proper wet down. Let's say the warehouse didn't have that. you'd probably want to rent a water truck that's doesn't have to be regulated for motion picture when it comes to PSI. In production supplies, I'll include one of those squeegee pushers so that way you can push water where you want it. Couch, you're looking at under $100. Bed, same under 100. Treadmill, under 100. Microphones, there were a lot of them in the video, so we're looking at a $200 range. Look at their return policy. It's cheaper to pay your art team to an extra day to do returns if you can fully get all that money back. There's probably gonna be some art purchases, for example, like the bed linens, right? Where you probably wouldn't want to return that. You know what I mean?
Man, Shawn Mendes laid in those sheets.
Oh, and there was a backdrop at the beginning. You can't return a backdrop, right? If it's a paper photography backdrop with like something. They look like a 12-footer one, so that's $90. Cameras and camera lenses. Let's say we're getting an Alexa Mini with like, it might have used anamorphics on that. This is closer to $1,000 rental.
Wow, $1,000 for an Alexa Mini with anamorphics.
With anamorphics. This monitoring, wireless, share grid once again for the save.
How much would this cost if you were going through a proper rental house?
$3,000 minimum, dude. Grip truck. I would also put that at a good like $1,000 just to make sure Grip and Electric have the proper support. We're gonna give them an allowance of $700 and say, don't go over your allowance.
Make it happen.
Yeah. Production supplies. I would beef this up to more like a $600 thing. Plus.
And where do you rent most of these prep production supplies?
For the last like 3 or 4 years, I'm renting them from Coyote, Castex, TPT, the production truck. We're at $18K. Not bad. Art department's gonna need to transport a couch, a bed, all these backdrops. So art department's gonna need a truck or a cargo van. So now that rate is multiplied by two because you have 2 of those now. But remember, when you rent out these vehicles, you have to return them with the proper gas. So far so good. Now the last thing is talent. Hey, you're gonna come out for 4 to 5 hours. I'm gonna give them each $100 and we have 10 of them. So that's easily $1,000, right? And so that almost puts us over budget. So that means I now have a couple $100 to give the model. Usually these models also represented by an agency. $500 for this model and that's it. And then another thing too is like a lot of these budgets, we're not putting any contingencies in there, like, or we're right at the 20K mark. I'll still go back and try to shave off $1,000 because it's good to have 10 to 15% of the whole budget. So I'll go in, I'll try to trim off 1,300. So now our budget lands at 19K and then I have $1,000 to play with. Maybe I talk to the artist's manager and I ask the manager like, give us a bunch of free merch, free CDs. So that way when we wrap, when we hand people a check, we're handing them a Shawn Mendes hat. Something so that way the crew feels like, oh, these guys kind of care about us a little.
It costs nothing. The label has 1 million of these already.
Exactly. So, yeah. It costs them nothing. Merch is like, you know, they can donate a bunch of it. So Shawn Mendes video, totally doable for 20K. Absolutely.
Alrighty, man. Well,
it's tight.
There you go. There's your episode of Indy Mogul, producing on a budget with Moses Israel. Leave a comment down below if you got any questions about producing tips or things that you want Moses to help answer.
Thank you guys for having me. This is really cool.
For sure. Thanks for coming out.
Good deal.
Selling some used Shawn Mendes sheets from a music video.
It's memorabilia at that point.
Memorabilia, you know?
eBay. You
sell that on eBay.
There it is. See, so now you can think as a creative producer of how to make...
This is not a real tip. Don't do this.